Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Seven of Cups. You're somebody that can trust your instinct. If you feel a bad vibe about something, you're usually right. You're somebody that when you're very aware of the red flags in any situation. I think that you can just walk into a room and you can sort of feel it out. You can feel people out very quickly. I feel like when you're meeting new people, you get a sense of their vibe very fast, okay? The Seven of Cups is all about us being able to recognize a kind of toxic thing, right? In a lot of the tarot packs, the Seven of Cups is a quite nice card. Shows a lot of things up here that we might be wishing for, and a lot of things that look shiny and pretty and look great. It looks like an oasis, but it really is a swamp, okay? And I feel that you have an ability to feel things out in a very easy way, okay? It's not always easy to do something about that, but when we get that feeling, when we get that just something's not right here, when we get that feeling of, of sort of discomfort, or that feeling of a kind of a queasiness, or just however it comes upon you, where we feel the bad vibe, we get a sense that there are red flags here. What do we do about it? Okay, well, let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see where this instinct might be serving you very well. Here we have the Strength card, also called the Lust card. We have a Five of Swords. We have a Knight of Cups, a Nine of Wands. And we have one of your superpower cards. Interesting. This is the Queen of Wands. And I think I sort of like how this is taking place this way. Here we have a Two of Wands. We have a Prince of Swords. We have the Tower. And we have a Queen of Swords. There's a lot of court cards here. Okay, and some of them are looking at the future, some of them are looking at the past, some of them are just focused on what the heck is going on right now. Okay, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here with Mr. Ed the Tiny Horse right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we see the two major arcana energies. We see the Lust card. It's a card of passion. This is the card of, well, it's a card of lust, right? This is the Tower. This is a card of really abrupt change. Okay? I sort of feel as if there's a situation in your life that is starting to feel a bit toxic, starting to feel like there's some red flags here, starting to feel like, okay, what I thought was an oasis or a paradise is now starting to look more like a swamp. And if I trust this feeling, what it's going to require of me is some courage, okay? And that courage is going to lead to particular actions, behaviors, which we don't necessarily see yet because there are no earth cards, okay? We've got our two majors. We've got some fire. This one, this one, this one. We've got some water. And we've got our air cards. We don't have any earth cards yet. I don't feel like you've made any changes to your behavior yet. Okay, but I feel like we're realizing that, okay, something isn't quite right here. Now I'm getting another sort of thread of impressions that might be this scenario that we've started something that felt good at the beginning, and even though we sort of we have these red flags and we sort of can feel our instinct telling us that this is not something that we want permanently, we're having a difficult time controlling our passion, our lust, right? And so we might be in a position where we were hoping that this was going to be a long-term thing, but we're starting to realize that it's not going to be a long-term thing. That this was a sort of flash in the pan, this was a brief affair, this was a temporary thing that may feel very good, but it doesn't have the longevity that you were after. Okay? It might be that this is not if it is perhaps a romantic situation for some of you. Put your pitchforks away. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. It feels as if we went into it having certain intentions. We went into it really openly and honestly, and it turns out that this is more of a physical relationship than it is anything deeper. And I feel as if you're realizing that you want something deeper than that. Okay, so it's kind of we're in a weird place where we're trying to control ourselves a little bit. We're attracted perhaps to this person or to this situation. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's an activity, maybe it's some sort of other lifestyle thing, maybe it's a behavior, I don't know. And we are attracted to it, and in our sort of, in our nature, we want it, we have an appetite for it. Okay, and it's okay to indulge, right? It's okay to satisfy that appetite. But once we start feeling like this is no longer good for me, that it's no longer serving me, it's time to make a change, okay? It could be time to realize that this might be just a sort of surface level relationship, and there is not anything deeper there. I feel like you're somebody that wants something deeper, okay? So I feel like in that sense, we still need the courage to sort of step into our independence and step into our power here with this Queen of Wands, and sort of be very assertive about what we are truly looking for, and not just acquiesce. If somebody else has their idea of how they want the relationship to be, but you've got your idea, and perhaps they're different. You want something serious, they want something that's just kind of more of a fling, more of a casual thing, right? You don't have to agree to their casual thing. You can stand up and say, no, that's not going to work for me, and so I'm going to say no. Or you could, of course, say yes, and but the idea of the Queen of Wands is that you don't have to alter your own desires or your own aspirations in order to fit in with what somebody else wants. You don't have to conform to their idea of what this relationship is. If it's not working for you, you don't have to stay, right? The Five of Swords underneath the surface, this is perhaps a little bit of doubt. Okay, this might be a little insecurity. This might be a little questioning, not really sure what I should do, because when we have we just look at these two cards. This is something that we have a lust or a passion for. It feels good, right? It satisfies a desire. It satiates an appetite. But we know that it's not all that good for us. It's not ultimately what we want to nourish our souls on right now, like not permanently, right? And so we kind of have this almost a moral dilemma as well, what should I do? Well, maybe we indulge in it for as long as we sort of deem appropriate, and then we put an end to it when we feel it's no longer right for us. And maybe you're in a position now where you know that it's probably time to leave something alone, right? But we're having a difficult time pulling ourselves away from that. Okay. We do, of course, have a Nine of Wands at the top here, and this is sort of another Sagittarius card. It's a strength, it's a commitment. It's almost like this idea that, well, I've already committed to something, so the arrow's already in motion, the arrow is already in flight. Can't really do anything about it now, can we? We gotta let it go. We have to see it through. So this is that part of you that feels like once you commit to something, it's permanent and you can't back out of it. It's kind of saying like, well, I've already got into this. I might as well see it through till the end. I might as well stick with it. But there's no point in sticking through something that is no longer healthy for you or nourishing for you or is in alignment with your ultimate goals or aspirations or your spiritual work. So the Nine of Wands really in this case is kind of this, it's kind of our unbreakable will that needs to bend a little bit, because I feel like we have to allow ourselves to sort of back out of something if it's no longer right for us. Okay? And I feel like maybe you have a hard time doing that, or not so much a hard time, but it causes a little bit of internal discord. This is the Five of Swords inside of you, under the surface, and I feel like there is just this confusion, and I think that we're ready to sort of make a choice and move forward from this situation. With the Knight of Cups in the background, I feel like you had particular intentions going into this situation, that you were open and honest, you were vulnerable, you were transparent, like this is what I want out of a relationship or out of a job or out of a friendship or out of a whatever, right? Out of a bowl of ice cream. It feels a little bit, well, it feels wrong that somebody else perhaps heard you, but they weren't reciprocating with that same level of honesty. Okay, so it almost feels like a little bit of emotional manipulation here. Okay, because I feel as if somebody wasn't truthful with you, that they sort of were telling you one thing, but then they had intentions to do something else. It's like you're misled. And it doesn't have to be romance, it could be a job. It could be, a flavor of ice cream. It looks like it's going to be great. You read the ingredients, it sounds delicious, you open it up and it's just blah, right? Hate when that happens. So this could be a lot of different things for you, but we can look at it as a friendship or a romance, a partnership with some person. And it's almost a betrayal that we were open and honest about what we wanted, and now we're starting to learn that this person has different intentions. They have some sort of they're two-faced, right? They have a little bit of a hidden agenda, or they're concealing their true intentions from you, while they might be sort of showering you with gifts and compliments and reassurances. Oh yeah, of course, this is what I want. This is how it's going to be. Yes, everything. We're on the same page, but I don't feel like they're on the same page as you. Okay? And I feel like the way forward for you is to accept what your instinct, your gut, your intuition is telling you about the Seven of Cups, and stand in your power. And now standing in your power is to make sure that you make a decision here and you act in a way that is in alignment with your true self and your true goals, even if that means, fine, I'm going to stay in this relationship and I'm just going to have a good time or whatever, right? Or if it's saying, no, I can't do that and I need to stand up and go in a different direction. Either way, it's important that you're doing it of your own sort of willpower. Okay, that we have to be really honest. That's why I think we have the Five of Swords inside. We're asking those questions of ourselves. Now, if I stay in this situation knowing that it's a swamp, am I doing that because I just say, hey, sometimes it's fun to roll around in the mud. Sometimes it's fun to stomp through the swamp, right? Or am I doing it because, I'm hoping that this person will change. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that they'll change their mind, or that it's not real. Like, or are we doing it because we are still letting that person call the shots, or are we saying, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm doing it because this is what I want to do? And I think that's the real dilemma. It doesn't matter whether you stay, whether you go, whether you just say, well, I'm going to eat the ice cream anyway. Or if we say, I'm going to stay in this relationship, or, I'm going to stay in the friendship. We have to do so with full awareness. This is somebody that really can see what's going on and can make decisions for themselves, So the tarot isn't going to tell you what to do. The tarot's not telling you to leave, right? Or stay. The tarot is trying to give you a snapshot of what the energy is and say that you have to be able to see it as well and make a decision, use your own willpower here to do what's going to feel right for you. Okay? And again, whether that's staying or going or continuing the relationship, do so with full awareness that it is your own volition and we're not being manipulated. And, maybe we can't tolerate the dishonesty. So we're saying, I don't care how much I like this person. If they're going to act this way, I'm out of here. Okay. Or maybe it's just saying, well, you know what? The physical side of things is fun. We enjoy our time together. So I'm just not going to worry about the rest of it. I don't even care right now. And that's totally fine too, As we talk about the path of the serpent, we see your dilemma here with the Two of Wands, right? Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. With the Two of Wands, this is the card of sort of the choice of directions. What are we going to focus on? Well, I could focus on just the physical part of things and we have a good time. We like hanging out together or whatever. Or we can say that, the job is fun or the money pays well. So I can ignore the rest of the stuff. I don't have to let it in. This is the idea that we have to control our own behaviors. As long as the Queen of Wands is making their own decision, whether to stay or to go, then either choice is going to be right for you. As long as you're fully aware and you're making an independent decision that you are in control of you and it's not this other person manipulating you, convincing you to stay, feeding you a line saying, well, right now I don't want anything serious, but maybe if we're together for a few months, I'll change my mind. Then, don't allow yourself to be manipulated by anybody. You have to make an independent decision about what you want to do, whether it's staying and indulging in this or going a different direction. Okay? We can't control what other people do, and we can't often trust what other people say. The feet don't lie, right? So don't allow yourself to be convinced by somebody else's argument. I feel like you're having a conversation internally. Don't really need to involve that other person since we're not sure what we can trust and what we can't trust anyway. And this person is represented by the Prince of Swords. Okay. Now, I feel like there is a mother figure that's always very close to you, right? And I feel like that mom energy is coming through real strong right now. And I don't know if your mother has transitioned into spirit or if you have a very close relationship with your mom, but you haven't talked to her in a while or something like this. I feel like there's a need for communication there. Maybe we need the advice of mother, The Prince of Swords, this is a double air energy. This is somebody that can be lying to your face and then can turn and lie to somebody else's face in a completely different way. At the same time, they can contradict themselves in within the same sentence. That they're telling you one thing, they're telling somebody else something different, they're telling themselves something else, and it feels like there's a lot of different truths here, and all of them are equally false. Okay, a lot of lines, and you don't know which one. You don't know which one to accept. Okay, and that sort of that poisons the well, right? It makes us not believe. I can't trust anything from that person because you lied to me once. Now I don't know whether you're ever telling the truth or not. So we're not really having that conversation with this person to say, well, what are your intentions? What do you really want? Because we don't know if they finally break down, they finally open up and tell you the truth. You have no way to know. Okay, so I feel like this is something that you're having to make a decision on independently. I don't know if this is an air sign person or if they are an Aquarius person. They could be. But it is somebody your age. It feels like it could be a friend or, a business partner even. It could be a romantic partner, somebody that you're dating. It could be somebody at work, a coworker, anything like this, right? Doesn't much feel like family, although it could be, right? But this is somebody that I feel, now I don't read third parties. I can't tell you what they're doing. I can't tell you what they're thinking or feeling or what their energy is, but I can see them through your lens, right, of your aura. And they feel like somebody who doesn't know what they want. And that's the way you see them, somebody that is completely on the fence about everything in life. And they're just maybe jumping from one side of the fence to the other because they don't know who they are. Okay, it feels like they're a very confused person. Well, we don't want to become confused as well. So we have to know who we are and what we want. And if we choose to stay and indulge in this, fine. But we have to be solid in our identity, right? And not, maybe not be on the fence, or not jump on one side of the fence or the other too, because then we don't want to have one of those sort of on again, off again things where we're changing our mind every other day. Most things aren't going to really last if that's the process. Okay, the Tower is interesting, and this is the position that we don't want. And perhaps the Tower is the realization of the truth here. Perhaps the Tower is the revelation. It's the moment where we realize kind of what is going on, and what we kind of realize. The Tower is really a call to adventure. Okay, the Tower is a call to a quest, and the call, the summons, is kind of like something that happens, and it's undeniable. It's like it's spirit that really forces a situation on you and forces you to act and to deal with it and to answer the call, right? If we ignore the call, we are suffering. We're tormented until we finally answer the call and respond and behave in a certain way in response to what's going on. This could be, we've witnessed something. It could be that we caught somebody lying or cheating or stealing or something like this. It's the sort of revelation that now we can't deny it. We can refuse the call, and again, it'll keep knocking, and we'll be tormented by it until we take action. Okay. This is the knock at midnight. This is the trumpet of spirit sort of blowing in your face and trying to wake you up. This is the lightning bolt, that gives us that sudden illumination. We can't undo it. Now, this is in the position of the difficulty, because if we've witnessed something, let's say you caught them cheating or something, right? God forbid. It sort of is a call to action. It's a call to adventure. It's a summons. And Spirit has put that situation in your path for you to respond to. Now we can ignore it and not do anything about it, not say anything about it, try not to think about it, but it's going to make us miserable. Okay? We can, instead, we can face it, we can do what needs to be done, and we can set out on this quest, and we can handle the situation. Okay? Now, this doesn't feel like it's some lofty, mystical, mythical, spiritual, holy grail quest. But these sorts of calls to action, calls to adventure, happen very often in our lives. The Tower cards are those calls to action that create the peak experiences of life. These are the big exclamation points of life, right? Someone's reading a sentence or reading, you hear somebody reading something, right? When they come to a sentence with an exclamation point and you feel that intensity, you pay attention, right? So these are the moments of life that we will remember. These are the moments that life changes, the turning points, the surprises, the novelty, right? Life's kind of going along steadily, and then we get a tower moment, and then a tower moment, and a tower moment. Those are the important dates in the history books that you're going to remember, And I feel like this is one of those, and I feel like it is sort of representing a moment of truth for you, where you've had this revelation and we need to decide what to do about it. If we can get over this obstacle, we get this clarity. This is the Queen of Swords, and that's a card that is rising above the situation, getting the bird's eye view, right? Trying to look at the big picture here and see things for what they really are. If we're down here in the swamp, in our lust, in our indulgence, right? Maybe this isn't even a person. Maybe this is between you and you and the ice cream, right? It's really hard to see things objectively when we're in the middle of it. So we have this experience. We need to find a way to get an objective viewpoint of things so that we can see really what's going on, and we can get our head clear, right? So we can, so that we can make our decision. So we can put our fire energy into action here. So a little bit of kind of stepping back, stepping away from the situation, clearing our head, and trying to look at it objectively. And we'll be able to see exactly, as objectively as possible, right? We're always going to be looking at things through a subjective lens. But if we try to distance ourselves from our emotions right now, then we can get a little bit of a kind of level-headed, sober-minded view of things and figure it out. Okay? You'll get clarity. You'll know what it is that you wish to do. And you'll know that you're doing it of your own will, your own accord, your own intention, and you're not being convinced or even emotionally manipulated by this other thing. Okay, sometimes when we step away from something and we go out, we do something else, we put a little distance, right? We try to clear our head, we try to separate from the emotions a little bit. Very often when we come back to the situation, we have a pretty good idea of what we need to do. Yeah. Right now we need to look at the mystery card. Let's see. This might be maybe the Fool. I feel like maybe it's an ace of something. Okay. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see. The Knight of Wands. Leaping into action. This is the card of trusting our instinct, trusting our gut, and taking action. So this kind of looks to me that we might be leaping out of this swamp. Okay. This is fire on fire. This is impulsive. This is kind of like you feel the instinct. What is your gut telling you? Gut's telling you to leap away, right? We've got to trust our gut. We've got to trust. We see the red flags. It creates this alarm. We act immediately. We trust that we're acting in the right manner. I think the longer we delay, the longer we try to think about things, and the longer we sort of sit with it and think about it and talk about it and feel it, the less likely we're going to be to really do the difficult thing and make the big leap. This is someone who is answering the call to adventure. As soon as the alarm clock goes off, this person's up and out of bed. Okay? As soon as we hear that summons, we hear the call, we're up and we're doing it. Okay? So to me, it feels as if this tower sort of situation is causing a response in you. And that response is probably the most correct one. But it still could be that you are getting this bird's eye view, a little bit of, let me take a minute, let me step away, and let me look at it. I think that you will find that your initial gut instinct, sort of feeling impulse, is going to be the right move. Okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do some oracle cards. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Sagittarius on Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.